God of Wisdom cross-examination.
Now, next, let's have God of Wisdom for the cross-examination to Josh Smith. All right, ready?
Okay. All right. Josh Smith, you're aware na merong mga contradictions sa Bible like yung pagkamatay ni Judas. You're aware of that?
It is not parang mali yung ay sasagot, pero may I ask if it is no. For me that is not contradict, but the question is aware or not, so parang mag-fall into fallacy.
All right, let's
can
ask the question on a different manner,
yes, may I?
Okay, so do you believe na contradicting yung account ng pagkamatay ni Judas sa Matthew at sa Acts 1:18?
Hindi.
Okay.
All
right, then explain to me why the two accounts are not contradicting.
Okay. So sa account kasi nung una is ibinigay ni Judas sa mga saserdote, ngunit ibinigay ulit sa kanya. So hawak-hawak niya 'yon, no? It's not contradicting, no? Ibinigay niya, ano sabi ng mga saserdote doon is aanhin namin 'yan. So therefore, binalik nila kay Judas. So doon pagdating sa Acts pinagbili niya naglupa, no? So therefore, connected 'yon sa naunang scriptures na hawak-hawak niya pa rin the possible. Pinagbili niya kasi hindi naman tinanggap ng mga hindi naman tinanggap ng mga saserdote yung pilak na yun kasi aanhin nga nila yon, at wala namang sinabi na kinuha ng saserdote at sinabing aanhin natin ito. So it means na doon sa perspective pa lang is nag-usap sila na aanhin natin yan, na perspective is nandiyan yung pera, but then again is dinala ulit yan ni Judas. And in terms of Acts, niligay i-specify doon kung ano ginawa ni Judas doon sa pera na yon, and that is hindi siya para bang desolated or hindi siya connected, but for me it is interconnected.
All right, so my next question, can you give me the specific verses kung saan sa Matthew ibinigay pabalik or ibinalik yung ibinalik na pera ni Judas?
Well,
can you refer me to a specific verse?
A specific verse, no, walang masasabing word by word. That is this textual, but yung sinasabi ko is biblical. When you say biblical, it is related or interconnected with the praises. So wala naman din tayong mababasa na kinuha ni Judas, but then again, that is the hermeneutics or interpretation on how the character on that particular event is kumbaga goes on, kasi it is connected to the acts.
I'm confused kasi you said na merong verse kanina kung saan sinasabi na ibinalik kay Judas yung ibinalik niya na silver reward. So I want to know, so since sinabi mo kanina na walang verse word for word na mababasa, paano ka nag-came up sa explanation na yan? Anong context yung pinagbasihan mo na ibinalik kay Judas yung silver reward?
Unang-una, it is the concept nung hindi natin sabi ng isang saserdote doon, hindi natin pwede itong iligay sa alayan sapagkat ito ay pinagbayad sa dugo. So therefore, hindi nila matatanggap itong ibinalik ni Judas. So that is the diwa na tinatawag natin, or biblical. When you say biblical, it is not scriptural. Scriptural is different from biblical. Scriptural is the text word by word, where the biblical is interconnected or corresponding to the biblical aspect. So ulitin ko, in that Mateo, nagtanong yung saserdote doon, hindi natin to pwedeng iligay sa kaban ng alayan. So doon in that part is ibinalik, wala tayong mababasa na word by word, but in terms of diwa or in terms of biblical is hindi nila tinanggap because wala nga silang paglalagyan ng pilak na yon.
Okay, may nakasulat ba na hindi nila kinuha? May mababasa ba na hindi nila kinuha? Kasi the way you explain it is that ang nakalagay sa Bible, hindi nila pwedeng ilagay sa alayan. Okay? So hindi I don't see the connection on why dun sa statement na hindi inilagay sa alayan, therefore ibinalik kay Judas. Can you please
well, in terms of dito nalalabas ang tinatawag nating in terms of traditions of the Hebrew, no. So in terms of the Bible itself na pinag-uusapan natin is tradition ang babalikan natin dito in terms of hermeneutics and in terms of the traditions of the Jews. Kapag hindi tinanggap, ay kinakailangan ibalik sa tao nagmamay-ari na yon, and that is the customs and traditions sa pag-aalay. So doon hinihingi o tinitignan ng concept ng mga ngaral na hindi kinuha ng mga punong saserdote na ito nung ibinalik niya o nakipag-usap siya, but then again tangan-tangan niya ito dahil nga because of their traditions and customs.
Okay, I want to clarify something because what you're arguing is about sa pag-aalay. Hindi naman
yes.
hindi naman nag-aalay si Judas. In fact, yun ay suhol sa kanya. Hindi niya yun inaalay. So the way you explain it ngayon is because you're referring to pag-aalay. So nag-aalay ba si Judas?
Actually, hindi. Ibinalik niya, no? But then again, yung argument doon is hindi natin to pwedeng ilagay sa alayan or doon sa kaban. Dahil nga ito ipinangbayad ng dugo. So therefore, kasi ang anumang bagay na ibibigay mo lang sa mga punong saserdote, they cannot inherit. They cannot inherit things, no? Pera, kayamanan, o pagkain. But they can consume. But they cannot get or hindi sila pwedeng mag-inherit ng anumang bagay that is part of the Levitical law. So kapag sinabing ibinigay, dapat they will refer in terms of their tradition and Levitical law, ibigay sa kaban ng Diyos. Hindi, kasi ito yung pagnanakaw according nga sa Malakay, yung pagnanakaw sa kaban ng Diyos. So, doon umiikot yung perspective and philosophy na hindi dahil ilalagay sa alayan kasi nag-aalay si Judas. No, everything that being given to the parishes should be automatically go to the kaban ng Diyos.
Okay, so iwanan natin yan. I think na dissect na natin yan. Let's go sa problem ng genealogy ni Luke and Matthew. You're aware na may problem sa genealogy ni Matthew and Luke?
Pakiulit?
Are you aware na merong, do you believe na merong problem sa genealogy between Matthew and Luke? Kasi contradicting sila.
Wala.
Okay.
Wala.
So sabi sa Gospel of Matthew ang ama ni Jose ay si Jacob. Walang sabi sa Gospel of Luke ang kanyang ama ay si Heli. So is it contradicting or not?
Well, there is a part, sabi nga natin, no, the other book is from Aramaic and the other book is the Greek. Tatandaan natin, there is a different names na kapag i-translate na yung in terms of perspective, I believe that iisa lang ang tao na yun, but then again there is something na Greek name or a Roman name na inilagay in that perspective, but in terms of pag-aaral namin iisang tao lang yan.
Hindi ko makita kung bakit mo nire-relate siya sa Aramaic. Are you aware na ang pinaka-earliest manuscript natin ng gospel ay nakasulat sa Greek?
Well, the three gospel, bukod sa Matthew, the John, Luke, and Mark is from the Greek. But the Matthew itself is Aramaic.
No. Saan mo nakuha yung information na ang natatlo lang sa apat na gospel? In fact, lahat ng New Testament, lahat ng manuscript ng New Testament ay nakasulat sa Greek. So saan mo nakuha yung information? I wanna know kung saan mo nakuha yung information na ang Matthew, ang original Matthew, nakasulat siya sa Aramaic at ang John hindi nakasulat sa Greek.
Well, in terms of 1,000 Dead Sea Scroll, doon nang galing ang Mark, John, and Luke, no, scriptures sa 1,000 Dead Sea Scroll. While the Matthew is inakuha yan sa ibang lugar in terms of contextual na malapit sa mga Hebrew text ni Pablo. So that is one of the archive na hindi alam ng marami na hindi sila nakuha sa isang sisidlan na ito yung Book of Mark, Book of John, no. They are they found and discover in different places. At ang magkakasama diyan is yung kay Marcos, kay Luke at yung kay John, but yung kay Mateo, kay Matthew, kaya yan ay hiwalay, that is form of Aramaic, that is in the different places. Kaya yan masasabi ko, the three books is from the Greek and one is the Hebrew.
Okay, medyo nakakatawa in a sense na you mentioned Dead Sea Scroll, pero ang Dead Sea Scroll wala siyang kinalaman sa New Testament kasi ang nakita sa Qumran Cave sa Israel ay mga part ng Old Testament, hindi part ng New Testament. So why are you arguing and using yung Dead Sea Scroll to support your argumentation when in fact ang Dead Sea Scroll ay nagko-contain lamang ng mga manuscripts from the Old Testament, not from the New Testament?
Okay, so there is a 1,000 sea scroll, no? And one of those scroll is from the book of Isaiah and other scroll of the major prophets and the Old Testament and the Torah. But then again, maybe para sa akin, no, part of the pag-aaral ko as a makangaral, nando doon din one of the epistles of the Dead Sea Scroll. It's not just the Old Testament itself, but the Dead Sea Scroll also contains the epistles of Pablo. One other parts of the epistles of the Pablo is nakuha din doon. I don't know kung if you have a textual or pag-aaral na talagang lahat ba na sa Dead Sea Scroll ay pure Old Testament, but I don't think so because that cave ay hindi lamang Old Testament and Torah ang nandoon, because it is 1,000 scroll.
Okay. I want to rebut shortly.
Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Your time is over, God of Wisdom.